Good morning. This is a video presentation for programming technique. The topic is COVID-19 risk assessment and recommendation. I am Taiwan Jun. This is a project with my group member Brandon and Satish. My matrix is A19 EC0207. So the target user of this application is the nurse in the hospital. So why do we create this application? We create this application to easier the work of the nurse inside the hospital. Because if in this COVID-19 situation, they got a lot of patients with their information. So we help the nurse to process the information of the patient and output the information that will easier the nurse. So the advantage of this application is create 5 output file contain information of patient with respective scale of risk of getting COVID-19. So this is an image that me and my group mate are having conversation and discussion with a Google Hangout about the UML diagram, and we have a lot of discussion and meeting too on WhatsApp, Zoom, and Cisco's. So we got a lot of discussion. So about the UML diagram, this is our UML diagram. So you can see that we have a contact, which is a composition relationship with a person, and the person is a base class to the doctor, patient, and guardian class. So the doctor, patient, guardian class is a derived class. And we got a risk. The risk, which is a composition to the patients, composition relationship to the patients. And the doctor and guardian is aggregation relationship with the patient. The part that I'm in charge in this UML diagram and this project is the person class and the risk class. So in this project, I'm in charge of declare the variable such as the person, the contact, and the function, person contact, set contact, and so on. And for the risk, I also in charge for the variable, the whole this variable, the string array, the char, the int, the float, the functions, the set, assessor, mutator, and the most important part of the risk class is the calculate scale, which will return the scale of risk of getting COVID-19 of the patients. So look inside the code, which is the Visual Studio I'm using. First, if you look at the risk header file, so it's only the declare the variable in private and declare the function inside the public. If we look inside the .cpp file, you can see that risk, I declare all the variable to 0, and the char to n, and the I into e to 0. And this whole this set is a mutator, and the get is a assessor to get the value of the variable inside the class. And then the most important part, calculate scale, we get that if the temperature of the patient is greater or equal to 38, which consider a fever temperature, the scale will +1. And if the COVID contact, which is does the patient contact with a COVID-19 patient, other patients, if we contact with other patient with COVID-19, then it's a yes. And the symptoms means that if the patient have coughing symptoms or sneezing or so on, or dry throat, it's considered as yes, otherwise it's no. And travel red zone, that is mean that if the patient travel to the country that is red zone, such as Japan with high COVID-19 rate, and so is USA and China. So if you travel to China, USA, or Japan in the past 14 days, it's considered as yes. So the scale will +1. And then this calculate scale will return the scale of the patients. And then we got a void risk print. That print if scale is like this, then we output that the scale of risk is 0, suggested action is 1. This is the .cpp file for the risk. And then we look at the person file, which are the base class for the class such as guardian, patient, and doctor. The person file, we got a composition function of contact we declare as object, and the contact we set as C, which is a default argument, and then this assessor, mutator, assessor, and then the string print, which is print the information of the person. This is the two class that I in charge in this project. So inside the main file, this is our include file. So we have include addition fs string and string, and it's the part that Brandon in charge. So because we have discussed all the parts, so it's discussed about his part and we have discussed all about others part. So I also know what he did in his part. So this is a void print list, which is a function that to put the output screen, to put a string inside the output screen, inside the terminal. And inside the main file, which is Brandon in charge, is declare the fs string, the input file, output file, and this accession handling. If Brandon failed to open the doctor detail.tsd, it will throw and catch this menu, and this scene option, so on, is in charge of the getting input file of the doctor detail. And then if we come below, this is a part that SATISH in charge. The SATISH in charge of getting the information of a patient. So we will output the screen that does a patient travel to COVID-19 country, yes or no, what country he traveled, such as Japan. If it's Japan, then the program will declare as yes. And what is the body temperature of the patient, 38 or 37, enter INT. That's what SATISH in charge. And to the part that I in charge of the output screen and output file. So you can see that inside this is out file scale 0 to scale 4, which I open the file name patient scale 0.tsd and declare it as SED-IOS out, which is not append, because I want to create a new one with a new data. So when we create an output file, it will mention that this is a text file contain the patient with a risk, the message, the typical official message. And then for this one, for INT, because we have count INT such as the user have entered how many patients, so for this loop, we switch calculated scale. If the patient scale is 0, we will output the information of the patient. If the patient scale is 1, we will output the information of the patient and input the information of the patient inside the output file patient scale 1. So same with case 4, case 2, case 3, case 4. And then we will ask him, do you want to continue, yes or no? If want to continue, back to up there, and if no, exit. If exit, we're going to close all the file, because it is better we know when the file is closed. And then we're going to delete the dynamic declare variable such as new, and then return 0. This is the code that I in charge in the main.cpp, which is output screen and output file. So if we run this code, F5, alright, you see the menu. I want to assign a patient, enter my option, so it is 1. So assigning patient now, enter the number of country in red zone of COVID-19. So we enter two country. So the first country is Japan. The country such as Malaysia, just as example. And then how many patients do you want to enter? Such as 2. I want to enter 2 patients. Patient 1 name is my own name. Taiwan Jun, contact number, my own contact number. And okay, for this, did the patient travel in the past 14 days? If yes, please input the country. If no, enter no. So such as I traveled to Japan in the past 14 days, I enter Japan. And then do I have a dry throat? No. Contact with COVID-19 patient? No. And body temperature is 37, which is normal. So my guardian, okay, same with a tie. contact number 011111. Example, relationship, father and son. Okay, patient 2, such as my another name, June. Contact number 0222222. Sorry, out of ID already. So I declare as no. I didn't travel to any country in the past 14 days. And then, do I have coughing syndrome? Okay, so we want to declare yes. Contact with COVID-19 patient? Yes. The body temperature, which consider fever, which is 38. Okay, guardian name. Okay, we say this as my teammate Brandon. Contact number 033333. Relationship with the patients. Friend. Okay, so you can see that the first Taiwan June, the patient scale is 1, which is correct, which is his travel to the red zone country. So, and he doesn't have a dry throat, COVID contact, or his body temperature is normal, so the scale is 1. For the next, the June, the scale is 3 because it doesn't travel to the country that have red zone, but he has dry throat, body temperature high, and contact with COVID-19. So do I wish to continue? No. So this program, I will create it. So if you look at the patient skill, you see that I create a file with information of patient with risk 1. And in the patient scale, which is June, just now we have patient scale of 3. So in my reflection, this program is a very good program that can create a file output file that easier the nurse to take if she want to find the patient scale with 0, she can take the file of patient scale with 0 and go to find the patient scale with 0. No need to take hold of patient scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and find the patient scale of 0 and finding information each time she want to find a new one. So this is an advantage of our application. So I think that our application is very clean application. We doesn't have a very much unnecessary function inside the main function. We throw a lot of function inside the classes, so it's a very clean program. The code is very clean and easy to see. So I'm very thankful to my teammate for their helping and their contribution to this project. We're having a fun time and very enjoyable time during the discussions. This is my reflection for the project. Thank you for listening.